Welcome to Sunny Stampin' Studio, and today we're going to be doing a little spool of thread, and the idea is to make up a tag that you can put on any handmade sewn items that you have created for your loved ones. I've sometimes have done hand sewn gifts. I've done quilts. I have done small embroidered items and outfits, things like that. And if you're going to put that much effort into something, it's kind of nice to have a personalized tag that shows that it was sewn for that person specifically. So we're going to get started. The first thing we have to do, and I'm going to bring this in just to show you, is create a wood grain pattern for our paper. We want to do an old-fashioned spool. So we're going to do the wood grain first, and I'm just going to do this quite quickly. I'm going to take some creamy caramel cardstock. Now for this I am going to bring it out because you're going to need to get a better view. And I'm going to lay it out flat. I'm just going to take it like this, and I'm going to start out with some creamy caramel classic ink. I'm taking the whole pad and I am dragging it across my paper to start creating some texture. Looks like it's time to re-ink these things. I'm really bad about doing that. I do it on an as-need basis. So if the camera is shaking, I apologize. I'm just moving it back and forth to create that pattern. Okay. And it's okay to get those long streaks and lines like that. That just adds authenticity to our wood. Okay. Next I'm going to take some close to cocoa, again an open pad, and I am just going to drag it across. Just moving it around. Make sure you get those ends. You don't want them to be to not have that texture. And last, I'm going to take some chocolate chip, and I'm going to do the least pressure with this. I don't want it to be overwhelming on the wood grain piece. Okay. Once I have that done, I'm just going to take the wood grain stamp, and I'm not going to do it here. No. I'm going to have to pull this out. You're not going to be able to see this part because unfortunately I'm trying to do this fast. I have to put a little more pressure on it. I'm just going to put a wood grain stamp over. Now I didn't get it perfectly there, but you just take your Stampin' Up! Wood grain stamp and add chocolate chip ink to create all the lines, and then you're going to maybe add a few little extra lines with your marker just for nice little authentic swirls. Okay, so I have the one that I had pre-done already like this. As you can see, you'll know which punch we're using right over here. It is the, oh, go figure, I can't remember the name now, tap punch. And my husband, who does woodworking, would probably say I'm going in the wrong direction of the grain, that it would not go like this, but okay, fine. Just because I can hear his voice in my head, I will go this way. Okay, so I'm going to punch it out of my nicely detailed paper, my wood grain. I'm going to flip it over to create the little line markings of what I have to get rid of. So I'm going to bring this in, whoops, close. And I'm just going to want to round off my ends like this. Okay, as you can see, I'm just trying to take off the ends, but I want to make sure I actually do it with pencil first because I don't want to screw it up. I'm going to straighten out this portion, so I'm going to be removing these little tabs over here. And then over here, I'm going to, this is going to be the bottom, I want to create that little rounded end of my spool thread. So I'm putting a line here, and you're going to see what that's for in a short bit. And then over here at the top, I have to go the opposite direction to show the top portion. So I'm going to do a little rounded piece like this. And I'm going to cut that down a bit with the very top edge. Okay, so I don't know if you can see all the little line drawings that I've made. The top portion here, I have cropped off a little bit at the top. I've created a rounded piece over here which did not extend to either side. I'm removing these portions over here to straighten it out, and I'm removing the little ends just to curve, make it more gently curved, and a line over here just to make that bottom piece. Sorry. Okay, so we can move that out now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off all these little pieces on the outer So I'm not going to touch those inside lines that I made. Okay. I kind of have to look at this and I have to look at the camera to make sure that you're actually seeing what I'm doing. Okay, we're almost got it. I'm a little late with my video today because it's been snowing like crazy today and my husband's gone, so that means I've been doing a lot of shoveling. And it's not very fun, let me tell you. Not when you have 1.5 feet of snow which just got dumped down and no snowblower. Okay, so I have my basic shape, oops, cut out over there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hobby blade and just my little cutting mat here, and I'm going to cut with my hobby blade these lines that I made out of pencil. Can you see? Yeah, okay, you can see. And the second one is right here. I'm putting a fair bit of pressure. Okay, so now I have those cut like that. As you can see, they kind of come out there. And now what I can do is I can add a little bit of the dark shading to it. So I'm going to take my chocolate chip, the darkest ink I have, and my sponge dauber, and I'm going to add some little shading down here to show it curving around. But I don't want to get this little, I want to leave the center area light. So I don't want to overdo it over there. And I want to do it even darker at the very edge. Okay, and then over here, I'm just adding a little touch of darkness at the edge, a little touch at the curve. It's just slightly different from the one I did on my tag because that was the first one I made and I've revised it since then. The first one always has a few little boo-boos. And then I'm going to try and get the under portion with a touch of that cut line just so that it gets emphasized. And that's kind of, it's curving under, so it's going to have a little bit of a shadow. Okay, so we have it over there. And then I'm just going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight along here. Just to add a little bit of, to emphasize that area again. Okay, so I just have it like that. And then what I can do is take some embroidery floss, and you're going to see over here, I just took, you can find this at any Walmart, any Target, anywhere that sells craft supplies. Just take your regular embroidery floss and wrap it around, and then just leave, you're going to tie a knot at the very first part, and you're going to wrap until it's nice and full, and then you're going to leave a little tail. Then you're going to make a needle. I just took some foil over here, some regular tin foil, and I cut a straight piece like so. Okay, and then I rolled it all up, or crunched it up into an essentially straight piece. Now if you have any silver brush cardstock, I don't have any, you can use that and just cut a thin strip and cut a little point on it. Okay, so I made my needle like that, and then I just took the end of the thread, I put my needle over here, I tucked it in actually first, then I took the piece of the thread, I placed it along the end and bent a portion down like that and over and squished it together so that it looked like there was a hole going through the needle, and that way we have our spool and needle and thread ready to put on a tag for the special someone and that special gift we made for them. Thank you very much for stamping with me, and I hope you'll join me again next week.